are here again for another weekly garden update. Since the garden seems to be growing leaps and bounds, Jamie got jealous and decided to take over the field report. So I am coming to you live from Channel 7 Newsroom, where I am sending it out now to Jamie in the field to give us our weekly garden update. Jamie?
Thank you, Jennifer, for that warm introduction. I am Jamie, and I am once again thrilled to be out here in the garden, seeing for myself how things are growing. And I'm very excited to welcome once again a guest out here with me, our guest correspondent this week. Why don't you come on out and introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Sam.
Hi, Sam. Why don't you tell me who you are?
Well, I play for a team on the Magic, U8.
Nice. And what sport is that?
Baseball.
Baseball. And are you getting ready to go into a new grade at school?
Yep.
Which grade is that?
Third.
Third grade. Great. Well, our third grader Sam this week is helping us here in the garden. Why don't you tell me, what is your first impression of our garden here this week?
Well, it looks like a lot of stuff that I have in my room when my mom finally comes and says, clean up!
Yep, that is true. There is a lot going on in the garden. It is safe to say our garden is loving this hot weather, and it's loving the water that we have been providing it with the sprinkler. But there is a lot going on. Our pumpkins continue to just spread and take over. It probably won't be much longer, and we're going to start to see a flower or two pop up in those. Speaking of flowers, last week we were so excited to show you that we had some flowers popping up in our squash. And Sam, can you tell us how many flowers do you think we might have back here today?
Well, I feel like there's more than, like, how old I am.
Yeah, which, you said you're 8, and so there is easily 10 to 15 yellow flowers inside this squash right now too. And Sam, why don't you head back to our sunflowers really quick. Last week, Molly showed us that the sunflower was half her height. Jennifer had showed us in previous weeks her ankle and then her knee. Molly showed us it was half, and now you can see they are almost as tall as Sam. These sunflowers are loving the sun. Last week we were also excited to show you some flowers that were popping up in our tomatoes. And this week we have 2 tomatoes that are growing and even more flowers that are popping up. So it won't be long before we're going to have some really juicy tomatoes. Now next week I know Jennifer is going to be taking over the garden correspondence once again. And I have a feeling that we might be close to harvesting some green peppers. So maybe next week, or for sure the following week, we'll be ready to harvest those. Now Sam, is there anything in here that you think you would eat at some point in time? Gracie.
Well, I'll probably eat the tomatoes, but after I squish it into ketchup.
Oh, there you go, after you turn it into ketchup. Well, Sam, is there any other impressions of our garden that you would like to point out?
Well, the pumpkins are like, you always know they spread out, because you all know they get very big, but not all of them. It depends what size and how they grow during the time.
Very true. Excellent point. Well, from the garden, I am thrilled to have Sam. I am Jamie. We're going to send it back to the studio so that we can turn our sprinklers on and start watering this and watch it grow even further. Thank you for joining us, and happy Independence Day.
Hurrah!
Yes, thank you, Jamie, for that weekly garden update. We are so happy to see that our garden is growing leaps and bounds. Well, from Jamie in the field and Jennifer here in the studio, have a great day. Keep growing, New Berlin.